It's the Rod Graffin Show, right here on Spreaker. Hopefully I got it figured out today. Thanks for listening, everybody. I appreciate it. Oh, the Indiana primary is over, and Donald Trump wins big. I'm sure you've all heard about this by now. It's been everywhere. And in the process, Ted Cruz and John Kasich, I just heard literally just a few minutes ago in a truck stop as I was getting a fresh cup of coffee. I heard that John Kasich has also suspended his campaign. That actually came as more of a shock to me than finding out last night that Cruz decided to suspend his campaign. Wow. That's all I could say last night was wow. Two things, actually. That Trump is the presumptive nominee for the Republican Party. That's pretty monumental, historic. And that Bernie Sanders pretty much shellacked Hillary Clinton last night in Indiana. That's not getting a lot of attention today. It's been completely overshadowed by Trump's win. But it's also been overshadowed by a plethora of people, Republicans, so-called conservative Republicans, on many different airwaves talking about what they're going to do now. And these are establishment types. These are religious zealot types that are a little upset. They're shocked. They don't know what to do with themselves. There they are. Right there. That's Steve Deace, talk show host. That's him. Oh, cry it up, Steve. Cry it up, Steve. Oh, you poor baby. Steve Deace, I've talked about him on this podcast before, is a hot talker, an up-and-comer. I saw a picture of him today. Got a face for radio. Not that I don't, but wow. I had no clue that's what you look like, Steve. He said today that he's going to leave the Republican Party, and he feels glad about it. It actually feels freeing to him. Well, good, Steve. Good for you. Good for the rest of us, too. And by the rest of us, I don't mean conservatives and Republicans. I mean all of us. There was some Cruz surrogate, someone from the Cruz campaign. I didn't catch his name. He was also, it might have been the same guy that said Donald Trump was Hillary with a penis. I don't know if you caught that the other day on CNN. That was pretty interesting. Actually kind of funny. You know, I think it's kind of funny. People made a big deal out of it, like, oh, that's inappropriate. I can't believe he said that. This whole primary season has been full of, I can't believe they said that. For everybody. It doesn't matter, right, left, Hillary, Bernie, the whole 9 yards. Shit has been said, and then it's...
Everybody stop. What the fuck?
That's pretty much what it's been. This Cruz surrogate came out this morning on CNN, and after being asked about the loss and what the future looks like and how he feels today, he made the statement that Donald Trump and his campaign need to learn how to play nice with others. They need to learn how to tone it down. He was basically telling the Trump campaign how they need to conduct, how he thinks they need to conduct themselves in the upcoming general election. And I've got news for him too, along with Steve Deace. You guys lost. You guys lost. Your guy quit. You don't get to make the rules when you lose. I think this is something that Republicans have fallen victim of for the last, I don't know how many years and how many election cycles. They lose and think that they still are relevant and can, I don't know, influence things. I really don't get most of it. I don't get the thought process there. Be a gracious loser. Move along. Your guy lost. Why did your guy lose? Well, because people are sick of politicians. They're tired of you guys. And as far as I'm concerned, good riddance to people like that. Those of you that want to leave the Republican Party because Donald Trump is the nominee, yeah, it's crazy. It's goofy. A reality show guy is now your nominee. How about you take responsibility for that? How about you step up? Instead of blaming and pointing fingers at the guy who's actually winning shit, why don't you step up to the plate and say, you know what? We did this. Our lack of action, our lack of leadership, the lip service that we've been paying to our constituents for God knows how many fucking years is what's gotten us here. It's not really hard to figure out. People want anybody other than the same people they've had. The same types of politicians they've had. I said it yesterday when I was talking about the interaction between Ted Cruz and the Trump supporter, Ricky Bobby, as I like to call him. He didn't so much care about anything other than it wasn't you. You're the problem, politician. You are the problem. That's what this is. And why is that? Because so many people on the right, so many leaders and elected leaders and party elite, the establishment, we've heard that talked about over and over again. These are the people. It's time for a good house cleaning. I've been saying this for years when it comes to government in general. We need to reboot this thing called the American government. We need to sweep everybody the hell out. Term limits have been talked about for years. Never really taken effect, never really taken hold, but people have talked about it as a way to get back to where we need to be in this country, to get back to some kind of civility, to get rid of the corruption, to do away with the people that are only there to get the job, to get the prestige, to get the money, to get the position, to get the power. We all see it. We've all seen it for years, left and right. I've talked to enough people. In my own personal life, I've listened to enough shit. It's the thing all of us are sick of because we know, finally, we're the ones who are losing in all this. When these people are in power, we lose. Left and right. Doesn't matter what your ideology is, we all lose with these people, with attitudes like that. And these crybabies like Bill Kristol and some of these other people in the Republican Party who are going to vote for Hillary Clinton, good. Leave the party. Go somewhere else. Look what you've done to this party. You did this. You constantly hammering away on abortion and gun control and the same old bullshit for years and years is what has gotten us here. That doesn't mean that people aren't concerned about those things as issues. It just means they're tired of you guys hanging your hats on them like it's worth something because you don't do anything with it. You talk a good game, but you don't step up. You don't put your nuts on the line because you're afraid. That's what this is. That's all this is. 20% of Cruz. I saw this story today. 20% of Cruz supporters are going to vote for Hillary Clinton. Go ahead, take your toys and go home. Go ahead. We don't need you. Because guess what? Chances are, in this election cycle, all right, shut up. Chances are in this election cycle, in the general, you're going to have a lot of people who normally vote Democrat voting for Trump. The ones who identify the same thing that this nice individual who was standing on the street with Ted Cruz yesterday, the same thing that he identifies. He's sick and tired of do-nothing politicians. All talk and no action. There are people on the left that see that too. I'm not here supporting Donald Trump. I don't believe I'll vote this year. I really can't stomach Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. So you might be saying, well, how can you sit here and talk all this shit and not even be involved in the political process? I've been involved. I'm going to watch this time. I'm not going to take my toys and go home. I'm not going to piss and moan. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to threaten. I'm just going to watch. I want to see if my fellow Americans are really going to do what they need to do this time. It's just a little bit tiring to hear these people come out after the fact. And I know this happens every time when somebody's guy doesn't win or somebody's guy drops out. But this year it's a little bit different. To have people who claim to espouse such great conservative values like Steve Deace say he's going to leave the Republican Party, and the rest of them that say they're going to vote for Hillary Clinton, and then turn around and talk about having integrity and morals? How true are you to your convictions if you're going to vote for Hillary Clinton, yet out the other side of your mouth you espouse all these great conservative values? I think you're full of shit. And I say it's good timing. Perfect. Leave. Go somewhere else. Let's watch these idiots, these never Trump people, try and form some kind of a movement to get a third party in place. That'll really muck things up. And again, as I said earlier, the fact that no one's really even talking about the fact that Bernie Sanders has got some momentum here and that Hillary Clinton is having trouble. Are you ready for a President Trump? Is America ready for President Donald J. Trump? That's why I'm not voting. It's too much of a gamble. It could either be the best thing ever, or it could be the biggest disaster we've ever seen. I don't know. I know what we'll get with Hillary, so I could vote for her. She doesn't line up with most of my values and what I believe politically, but at least I'd know what I was getting with her. Oh, it's the old devil you know argument. No, I'm not going down that road. Hold your nose. No, I'm not holding my nose this year. I'm going to watch. I reserve that right as an American to not participate. There is no none of the above. I can't go vote for that. But I guess at this point, I really want to see if the rest of America wants to give Trump a chance. And then when he fails miserably, I can blame them for it instead of having to take the blame myself. Exactly. All right, it's rodgraphing@gmail.com. Shoot me an email. Let me know what you're thinking out there. Follow me, like me. Thanks for listening, by the way. I see you out there listening. Appreciate that. Thanks, Spreaker. I think I'm getting the hang of this, finally. All right, that'll do it.